Tiernan, late equaliser. Do you feel like you deserved something from that game?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was probably a game of two halves, to be honest with you. First half we never really got going. We looked just a little bit off. We didn't get on the ball. We didn't pass it, and we struggled a little bit. And fair play to them, they took the advantage, and we were disappointed, albeit by a set piece. We tweaked things at half time, and we came out second half and I thought we looked like a different team.
Yeah, what was the thinking at half time? Because he took off Kieran Harkin, obviously Hayden went to right back. I'm sure he was loving being in front of all those Drogheda fans in that second half, but he just went to a back four. And was that just to get a little bit more attacking impetus going, or what was the thinking? Yeah,
I think we were 1-0 down at that stage, and we felt our front three were getting very isolated, so we tweaked it to see if it was going to work. And also I think I thought the subs made a massive impact for us. And we're delighted with that.
Yeah, Paul McMullen in particular, I guess, down that right hand side, he really kind of got into the game and created a few little things, linked up with Hayden a few times. Dom obviously got the equaliser, we'll talk about that in a second, but those kind of wide players really gave you a little bit more impetus. I know Michael Duffy was playing infield a little bit more than out wide, so did you feel that kind of stretching the game as wide as you could, even though the pitch here a lot of people would say is maybe narrower than usual, that kind of helped you just get into the game a little more in the second half?
Yeah, listen, I think that Michael Duffy and Gavin White and their abilities unquestionable. They never really got themselves going tonight, and which is very unlike them because they've been superb now for the last number of weeks. But as I keep telling the players, that's what squads is all about. And everybody's entitled to an off night. And I thought tonight when we made the changes gives a real impetus, and it was great to see Pat Hoban getting on the pitch and getting some minutes, and I think Pat will get sharper as the weeks go on. So we were delighted in the end, but disappointed obviously that we didn't. We thought we could have maybe went on and won it, and disappointed. And that's no disrespect to Drogheda. That's just from our own end. But listen, we'll settle for a point. It's a tough place to come.
Were you disappointed that you didn't work Luke Dennison a little bit more? Because I think with the exception of Pat Hoban's sort of shot that he didn't quite catch, I don't think he had a whole lot to do in that second half in terms of making saves.
No, I don't think there was too many clear-cut chances in the whole game, to be honest. It was a bit of a strange old game, and you always know the threat that Drogheda have on the counter and the pace that they have, and you're always very conscious of that. So, but I thought we managed that brilliantly.
And in terms of another night of strange results and dramatic late goals, and we had one here of course with Dom, did you feel like you'd thrown everything at Drogheda in the second half in terms of the possession, all the build up play? Sometimes it just takes a little bit of a shot, as we were saying in commentary, if you don't buy a ticket, and Dom just got a little bit of space, got a little bit of a deflection on the way through, but sometimes you need those little bits of luck.
Yeah, we actually talked about that with our midfielders, that when you get into a back five or a back seven with the two sixes that set in front, it can be hard to break down at times, and there's not a huge amount of space here to overload and get that opportunity to get 1v1 because they defend so well. And we talked about potentially it might need to be something from outside the box or a ricochet, and thankfully we got that.
So you're happy enough going back down the road? Not happy going back down the road with the point, but given the circumstances, if you'd been given a point with a couple of minutes to go, you probably would have taken it.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, as everybody's been talking about, I think Drogheda is the team that everybody's been talking about this season, and rightly so, and you can see why. They're a team that are very, very good at what they do. They all work really, really hard for each other. You can see Kevin has a real camaraderie here, and they're difficult to play against, and they're difficult to break down. So in the end, we'll take a point.
Thanks, Tiernan. Safe home.
Cheers. Thank you.